This is an unboxing video for the Martin BBQ portable 14,000 BTU. Manual. Some nice packing. The barbecue inside. So there's what it looks like unboxed. More packing foam. I'm going to assume that's a burner. We have the heat shield. Looks like a drip tray. Oh, nicely packaged. This will be our porcelain grill. I'm always wondering about these when I buy them. This was at Princess Auto for $89.99, I believe. And last one they had, and it was fresh in the box. Looks like nobody's been in this one. Really nice. So hopefully you can see this. The burner tube was tied down nice and secure in there with the warming rack. It does have an igniter on it, and here's the other end. So there is some minor building and constructing that we're going to have to do, so we'll get right on that. Okay, so we managed to get the handle on here, and now we're going to be working on the burner inside. The only thing so far that I've had a hard time with is what is an insulating washer and what is a kind of other type of insulating washer. You can see here, one's black, one's silver. I wound up putting the silver ones to the outside and the black ones to the inside, and I'll show you that a little bit later. So here's the view of the inside. I put one black washer there with a bolt, one there, and I wound up putting one for the burner there. And underneath is a silver washer with the nut. So now I've run the electrode wire through right there, and it's telling me to attach it to the case right there. Alright, sorry my fellow watchers. Mama called me in for supper, and I'm still having my predicament with these washers. I use black, two large black ones, two small black ones down here, and I'm sort of going as I have the parts left over. You know what? You get what you pay for. It's steel. Nothing is cast aluminum on it. The legs are pretty flimsy. The burner tube looks alright. It's a good size. However, you know what? I'll leave my other comments for the end of this. I think you'll probably enjoy. So what I found is a couple of leftover washers, and what I wound up doing is changing these out for silver ones, and then doubling up the handle with two washers in there and two washers in there, and I like that a little bit better, a little more comfortable. It's peeling that plastic handle away from the lid. Now, just a word of warning, these are plastic, and I did bust this one. It seems to be hanging on though, so not very well made in that respect, but it was, I guess, a little bit my fault. While I was changing out the washers, I lifted up one handle, snap, and that was that. As I said before, the instructions are a little lacking detail, and I think that's something that does need to be addressed. I wound up putting all black washers here, 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 and here, even though the instructions had a different version. The silver ones were to go there, but there wasn't enough of them, so I color coordinated. Hopefully that works out. Silver to silver, black to black, and I'm going to assume that that's the way it's supposed to be. The last thing to do is put on the regular. Okay, so we finally have her together from top to bottom. As I was saying before, you get what you pay for. If I was to do this again, I would probably be buying a Weber 1200Q, or Weber Q1200. This was on sale, and with the budget of the day, that's what I went with. Kids want to do some camping, some day camping, so we're going to do some outside eating, and this will do just fine. I don't imagine it's going to last for much longer than a couple of years with a lot of cooking, but if you are looking at a Martin, I would probably suggest don't if you can afford a Weber. The instructions on this were crappy, tough to put together, and really there was only 7 washers and 7 nuts and bolts type of thing, so I would suggest go for the Weber. This is not cast aluminum, it is steel. The Weber is cast aluminum, and when I get maybe a little more funds, this one is going to go to the yard sale, and I will be getting a Weber. Sorry, Martin, not impressed. Bye. So I do have a bottle hooked up to it now, and after doing the appropriate leak tests, we're going to start her up and see what happens. So a couple of things I noticed with this. When you have to push this down, it puts a lot of tension on the burner. It starts up no problem with the igniter. Probably didn't see that. One thing that I've noticed in some of the reviews of this is that the regulator doesn't work very well, but I've noticed that the flame does go up and down, who knows appropriately how much, but it seems to be a considerable amount. There's a little bit of wind out and there's no problem. It's going on and off with ease. So yeah, the starting was fairly easy. Hopefully that igniter lasts for a little bit. So I have her cranked up on high, and it's reaching some temperatures pretty quick. It's been about 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and we're almost at 200 degrees. And it keeps climbing fairly rapidly. It's not going to hold heat, again, because it's not cast aluminum, it's just steel, and there's no insulation, so it's not going to hold heat very well. You're going to be burning more propane than you would with something that's cast aluminum. It's not going to keep the heat as well. Well, we're topping out at about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. It's still slowly climbing, but has sort of reached its peak. That's not bad. I can make some pizza pops with that, I'm sure. Well, I've just been informed by my daughter we need 425 for pizza pops, and we've just made over 425. It's taken about, 4 minutes. That's a lot of propane to burn to get up to that sort of heat. No, we're going to 450. I guess the wind's dying down a little bit, not cooling it off as fast. So, I've just been duly informed by child number 1. Because of my negative comments, I'm going to get a lot of hate mail. I personally don't care. It's my opinion. And it's sort of an unboxing, short review of this Martin portable barbecue. As you can see, it's cooling off quite rapidly. It's only been a couple of minutes and it's already down to 200, so I guess that's a positive if you just want to eat and go. The pros of this, it looks not too bad. It's a good size. It has a warming rack and a porcelain grid, and it's got the heat shield down there for even disbursement. I did notice that there's fairly even heat around the burner tube. This is a nice feature. The regulator spins, making it pretty easy to put on the bottle. However, be cautious when you're putting on the bottle because the burner does move. It's only attached to the one side at the very back. The igniter works. So far so good. And there is a temperature gauge, as we've seen before. Ta-da! Cons, well, very flimsy, plastic handle, broke already during installation. Now, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but the instructions were supposed to be very simple, but they wound up to be kind of complicated and not very thorough. So if somebody is of a little bit of a lesser IQ than to pop toast, going to be pretty tough for them to maybe put this together. The legs and everything were already put together, and I think, again, because of the funds at the time, I can purchase this and cook a couple of hot dogs. If I was doing any long sort of excursions, trips, doing regular camping, being a snowbird and doing some regular retirement camping, I would certainly go with the Weber Q1200. It seems like a nice machine. It's very portable and it's got the shelving as opposed to the lesser model. So we're going to give this a try. If it works out that this is okay, I might put on another video saying, hey, sorry Martin, I made a couple of bad mistakes and I didn't mean to rub you the wrong way. However, I don't think that's going to be the case. One final thing, the very bottom is a drip tray. And that's probably the only solid thing on this. It falls into place underneath, and I think that's a pretty good deal. Weber doesn't have, Weber does have the drip tray underneath from a side entry. This one's pretty easy to install and take off.